Welcome to the webinar, everyone. My name is Paul Engerman, and I'm a presidential double diamond distributor with MXI Corp, the makers of Shasai, the world's first healthy chocolate, and Shasai XE, the world's first truly healthy energy drink. And I gotta tell you, every time I say that, it feels like I'm having an out-of-body experience because I don't come from the world of network marketing. But boy, am I glad that that world found me. Because my decision to participate with MXI has been the best financial decision I've ever made in my life. And it allowed me to address a couple of things in my life, a couple of issues that I felt needed addressing. And if you're looking to make some changes in your own life, if perhaps you'd like to get out of credit card debt, or you want to make some extra income or fire your boss, or maybe you just want to save for retirement, or maybe like me, you just want to spend more time with the people that you love doing the things that you want to do instead of things that you have to do, this can be a solution for you, just as it has been for me. Well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I live in Provo, Utah with my wife Suzanne and my son Austin, and we've had an interior design firm for 16 years, and we were featured on the cover of Architectural Digest. And that was a great thing for our business because it allowed us to build a significant business. And we've done high-end residential design all over the United States. Now, I actually had a career before that. Before I was a designer, I was a rock singer. All right, go ahead, get it out of your system. Yes, we were very serious and we had funny hair. It was the 80s. I had a couple of top 10 records with this rock group, Animotion. Before that, I achieved some success. I had a couple of hit records over in Europe on my own, and I sang the main title song in the movie Scarface, and I just kind of grew up in this business. And the reason that I'm telling you about that is not to give you my resume, but because show business is what helped me really understand how you earn income in network marketing. Now, you see, in network marketing, you can do something once and get paid for it many, many times, ongoing. And the same thing happens in show business. For instance, I still get checks from songs that I wrote 30 years ago. I still get checks for performances that I did when I was a young child, and they come to my mailbox. Now, that's passive income. And this passive income principle was really brought home to me by the former career of my wife, Suzanne. She was an actress and model before she was a designer. And she did hundreds of national commercials, and one of them was for a toothpaste called Pearl Drops. And that thing ran for 14 years. What that meant to us was that she was in the studio for a day, and we got paid. We got checks for 14 years. That kind of passive income doesn't happen, in most businesses. In most businesses, you'll wind up, trading time for money, or an item for money, a product for money, or a service. And you must continually do that and be present in order to continue to earn income. It was the same thing in my design business. I could sell that couch one time, and then I had to find another couch and another customer to keep earning income. Well, I was open to finding a way to add more passive income to my life so that I could have more freedom to do the things that I wanted to do with the people that I loved. Well, I was introduced to MXI just completely serendipitously by accident because I attended a birthday party. My sister Shawn is married to Larry King, the CNN talk show host, and when Larry turned 70, she threw a surprise birthday party for him. And there were a lot of fun people at that party, and along with all the movie stars and political figures that were there, I met an entrepreneur, a woman named Jeanette Brooks. And Jeanette has formulated over 400 products and brought them to the marketplace, and she's been extremely successful, and she's owned several companies worth hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. When I met her, she owned a company called Pure Delight Chocolate. Now, see, Jeanette's had an uncanny ability to predict and stay ahead of trends. And she saw the low-carb trend happening, right back around 2000 or so, and she came up with a way for people to eat chocolate on a low-carb diet. And it turned into a $300 million company. And so I was very impressed with Jeanette. And we sat at the same table and kind of became friends. She's very warm and engaging and kind of sucks you into her vortex, and your life is never the same. And so we stayed in contact. And a couple of years after that party, she called me and she says, "Paul, you'll never believe what I'm doing, but I'm shutting down Pure Delight." I said, "You're kidding." She says, "No. But I'm doing something new. I'm taking all the money I made in that company, and I've put it into a new network marketing venture that I've started, and I've come up with some products that are going to rock your world." I said, "Really?" I said, "What is it?" She says, "Healthy chocolate." And I just kind of was silent, and then I kind of laughed. I said, is there such a thing? She says, absolutely. She says, Paul, the cocoa bean is the most potent form of antioxidant on earth. And the acai berry is the second most potent form. And I've combined these two things into some products, and they're amazing. Now, Jeanette's very enthusiastic about her products. And so she starts telling me, oh my gosh, Paul, most potent antioxidant, helps lower blood pressure. It lowers your cholesterol. It's anti-inflammatory. It's a natural Viagra. She says, it helps raise your mood. It taps down your appetite, and it can help your body use blood sugar more efficiently. And I just was like blown away. I went, right. And does it rotate your tires and change your oil? And will fairies come and dance? And she says, okay, smart guy. She said, open up your email. I just sent you an email. This is the email that she sent me. That's a side-by-side before and after picture of Jeanette Brooks. That's what she looked like on the left when I met her. That's what she looked like on the right when she was calling me. And I was so stunned. And she told me, she says, Paul, here's the ironic thing. All those years that I had this low-carb diet chocolate company, I struggled with my weight. I was bigger than ever. She says, it wasn't until I discovered the power of unprocessed chocolate that I started to see the power within the bean, where it could do really wonderful things for your body. And, this was really fascinating to me. I was pretty blown away by the picture, so I started asking her questions. I said, you're telling me that this healthy chocolate helped you lose all this weight and helped you turn your life around like this? You see, Jeanette is an insulin-dependent diabetic. She reduced her need for insulin by more than 90%. She was on 125 units of insulin when I met her and 10 units of insulin when she was calling me. And this was just, I was thinking, my goodness, if this is real, not only could this be really tremendous for people, but what a business, So I said, I need to see the science behind this, Jeanette. Where can I see this science? She said, that's easy. Just go to Google, type in the words dark chocolate antioxidant. I'll call you back after you've had a chance to read some of that. Well, that brought up over 400,000 results. With results like this is healthy chocolate, antioxidant wallop, chocolate secret power, on and on and on. And this is just the first half of the first page. Well, all of these news outlets also had a major story on the health benefits of chocolate. And they were saying everything that Jeanette had already told me about blood pressure and mood and your cardiovascular system. But they also said a few other things. It could protect against tooth decay, which blew my mind because it lowers the bacteria content of your mouth, and it increases the circulation to your brain. And then it also mentioned how it helps your body process insulin more efficiently and improves your blood sugar metabolism. However, all of these articles also had a warning. They said, now bear in mind, all of these nice results were obtained by people who were regularly consuming a chocolate that was a laboratory blend of high antioxidant chocolate, and it was really icky and you wouldn't want to eat it and you can't get it at the store. And then they said, but if somebody could find a way to deliver a palatable chocolate, a chocolate that tastes good, that didn't have all the fat, wax, fillers, preservatives, and garbage that's in regular chocolate to make it taste good and turn it into an M&M, and if they could also keep all the antioxidant intact, that would be a health breakthrough. And that's what Shasai is. That's what Jeanette was telling me, that she was able to create these products. They're all low glycemic. There's no white sugar. The processing allows them to keep all the antioxidants in it. But I needed to know how she did that. It was a mystery to me. And so she started explaining it to me. She says, here's how we do it, Paul. When the chocolate comes out of the bean and they turn it into a powder, it's very, very high in antioxidants. And she showed me a chart. And you can actually see this same chart at USDA.gov. It's called the ORAC chart. All it is it's just a way of comparing different foods as to their antioxidant value. It assigns a point value to each food. And you can see that unprocessed cocoa powder has the highest content, and the acai berry has the second highest content, and then it drops way off after that for some other foods. Well, when that cocoa bean comes out of the cocoa pod, according to Jeanette, she told me that, it's packed with antioxidant content. But she also told me that it's very bitter. And she says, Paul, what people do to that bean is a crime. She says it's called the Dutching process. And it's what allows it to be more mild and taste better. She says, but it also sucks all the antioxidant out. So the first thing they do is they allow that bean to ferment, and it reduces the antioxidant content. It takes the nutrition out. She says then they roast it, which reduces it further. Then they do something called lecithinization. Woo, long word. And that reduces it further. And then they alkalize it, reduces it further. A lot of companies add saturated fats because they're cheap, and that can't be good for your health. And then, of course, most people add white sugar to chocolate to make it taste better, and that reduces the health benefit even further. And so what started out as a wonderful antioxidant with over 300 chemically complex compounds that are great for your health winds up just with a little peep of nothing as far as antioxidant goes. Well, she told me, Paul, many people think they know what healthy chocolate is. They think it's that 70% dark bar that they can go buy at Trader Joe's. She says, but what they need to understand is what that 70% number means. It does not mean that it has 70% cocoa powder. It means that it has 70% cocoa powder and cocoa butter by weight. And she says the functional part is the cocoa powder. And she says you could really have a 70% cocoa bar that has very little cocoa powder in it. Maybe they add food coloring to make up for it. And she said, on top of that, whatever cocoa powder is in there has been processed. And so, it's been zapped like all cocoa powder, and there's very little benefit left. And she explained to me that she came up with a patented cold processing that allows her to keep all that antioxidant in the bean. You see, when Jeanette had Pure Delight chocolate, she was the largest importer of sugarless Belgian chocolate in the world. And so she had a lot of power in the chocolate world, and she went to her food processors and she said, how can I keep all the antioxidant in this bean and still have it taste good? What can I do? And they came up with this cold processing, and it's patented. And it's licensed to MXI and no one else. And this process is the key. It's what makes us different from any other chocolate. And it's why one Shasai nugget is the equivalent of a half a pound of raw spinach, or 3/4 of a pound of broccoli, or a pound of red grapes, or 3.6 pounds of tomatoes. Now, isn't that eye-opening? Now, why are antioxidants so important? They fight something called free radical damage. Every time you breathe, you make free radicals in your body, and these are rogue molecules that are part of the aging process. They do damage inside your body. And you can't avoid them. Pollution and your modern life adds even more to your body. But the thing is if you take antioxidants into your body, you can neutralize them. Now, that's very important because doctors have tied free radical damage to over 300 degenerative diseases. So you want to neutralize those free radicals. And even the government's talking about it. This is a quote from Dr. Richard Cutler, and he was the director of the Anti-Aging Research Department of the National Institutes of Health in Washington, D.C. And he's talking about, he says, the amount of antioxidants that you maintain in your body is directly proportional to how long and how healthy you'll live. Well, how do you know if you're getting enough? Well, you don't if you're eating any other chocolate besides Shasai. They're not going to tell you. But the antioxidant level of each finished Shasai product is printed right there on the product. And you'll know exactly what you're putting into your body. You see, when people got those good results in those clinical trials from eating high flavonoid chocolate, that icky laboratory blend, they were getting 600 to 1,000 milligrams of antioxidant into their body on a daily basis. That particular antioxidant, chocolate antioxidants, are called flavonoids. Okay, so 600 to 1,000 milligrams of flavonoids. Well, our products are certified by Brunswick Laboratories. They're tested for the antioxidant content. Brunswick worked with the United States government to figure out how to measure antioxidants in food. These guys are the gold standard. And it's not just anybody that can be certified by Brunswick. As a matter of fact, we were the first product ever that they certified. And so this is very, very significant. They're an independent lab on the East Coast. And we have to submit our products every 3 months and have them recertified. So it's a significant thing. You know what you're putting into your body. The second way that you know is because Shasai went through rigorous clinical trials at the University of Utah. And Dr. Elliot Brinton ran those trials. He's the director of the metabolism section of cardiovascular genetics over there. Whew, that's another mouthful. And when he first started working with our products, he called Jeanette up and said, wow, your product is drenched in something called epicatechin. And Jeanette says, really? What's epicatechin? And he says, well, that's the workhorse in chocolate. That's what does the lion's share of the heavy lifting as far as your health goes. And he says the amazing thing is that it's a bitter compound, and commercial chocolate is just devoid of it. There's very little epicatechin in commercial chocolate, and yours is overloaded with it. He says, congratulations. Well, when Jeanette told me that story, I went and looked up epicatechin. I started doing my own research and found this article in Science Daily. There are a couple of quotes in here that I thought were astounding. The first one says, "The health benefits of epicatechin, a compound found in cocoa, are so striking that it may rival penicillin and anesthesia in terms of importance to public health." That's an enormously important statement right there. Then Dr. Norman Hollenberg goes on to say, now he's a professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School. He's quoted further in this article as saying, "Epicatechin could potentially get rid of 4 of the 5 most common diseases in the Western world." So obviously epicatechin is very important. And the diseases he's talking about are stroke, heart failure, cancer, and type 2 diabetes, the big killers in our society. Now, we got to be real clear here. Shasai is not a medicine, and we don't claim to treat or cure or prevent anything. We're part of a healthy lifestyle. But boy, isn't it amazing to read what they're saying about some of these compounds that are found in our chocolate. Now, the other way that you can really know that you're putting something wonderful into your body is to understand what the results were from the University of Utah study. It confirmed a lot of things that we already knew. Shasai specifically helped decrease plaquing in blood vessels, and it gave you better cholesterol and blood pressure and insulin levels. It increased protective antioxidant levels in the body. They could measure that. And this was quite interesting. It promoted lean body mass, which promotes better metabolism, obviously, and it increased a hormone that actually breaks down fat. On top of that, it's anti-inflammatory. Now, they studied the cardiovascular benefits. There have been over 1,200 studies that have been published in other university studies on high flavonoid chocolate, and these were published in major health journals and medical journals and nutritional journals. And the benefits that they saw, on top of the other ones that I've already mentioned, was that it helped open up your breathing passages and promote better joint flexibility. It could act as a histamine blocker and raise your serotonin levels. That's the chemical that makes you happy. It encourages better dental health and suppressed cravings and gave you a better elimination system. And it also encouraged healthy libido, which is always a party, and it gave you great looking skin. So, wonderful benefits. But I must tell you, the biggest benefit that Shasai has given me is that it has increased the size of my wallet. And I don't mean to seem mercenary. Money's just green paper. But it can do wonderful things for people. It can do good things in the world. And so, money's not bad. Money's good. And we like it. It pays bills. I've actually been able to become what's known as an MXI Millionaire member. And, I'm very humbled by that. And there are actually members of my team who've done the exact same thing. It's not just me. This isn't about me. But, I told you, I needed to address a couple of things in my life. I wanted to spend more time with the people that I loved, doing things that I wanted to do. And this company and this product has allowed me to do just that. And to receive checks ongoing while I was doing that. And that was pretty cool. Well, there are 5 reasons why I decided to join this business and this company and to participate. I'm a business person, and I did a business analysis. And you're looking at the different things that I considered: the company, the product itself, the market for this, the timing of the opportunity, and a principle called leverage. And I'll just kind of go over each one very briefly. The company. Well, when I joined this company, I had a lot of faith in it because my friends own it, and I know them. I know what kind of integrity they have, and I love these people. And there was a lot of money that they were putting into this business. And so I thought, this is a good bet. This is going to be around for a long time, and it's a good opportunity. And you know what? I rolled those dice, and it proved out. We've done over $160 million in sales and paid out over $80 million in commissions to regular people like you, people like me. And I want to open your eyes to that a little bit. Half of those commissions and half of those sales were done in just the last year. So what does that tell you about how fast this company is growing? It's a debt-free company, family-owned. These are experienced executives that have owned other successful companies. Now, we've more than doubled in size during the recession. Show me another company that's done that. And we have a wonderful high retention rate. So that means that if you build a business, it sticks. And the average paid distributor in MXI makes 100 times the MLM industry average. So very solid company. Their vision is to be the next billion-dollar company in network marketing. The second thing was the product. Okay, it's chocolate. All right. Chocolate is already almost $1 trillion business. But we have that exclusive patent. We're first to market with the world's first truly healthy chocolate. And that's extremely unique. I hope you understand how important that is. This is a product that has universal mass appeal. You know, children to very old people love chocolate. Every race, every creed, every sex loves chocolate. And you don't have to train them to love it. They already do. They don't have to create a new habit. I would wager that there's nobody walking down your street saying, you know what sounds really great right now is a heaping cold glass of Tahitian noni juice or Mona V or wow, vitamins sound good right about now. But I will tell you this, I bet you there are people walking down your street saying, hey, you know what sounds really good right now is a piece of chocolate. And the average person eats about 12 pounds of unhealthy chocolate a year. All you have to do is show them a better way. You know, 1 billion people, 1 billion with a B, ate chocolate today, and they'll do it tomorrow and the next day and the next day, ongoing. And the reason they'll do that is because they crave it. So on a product level, it's just a no-brainer. I don't think it can get much better than this. And trends are converging to make this opportunity even better. Product Scan knows what you're buying at the grocery store. They track the SKUs that go over that scanner. And they put out a press release and said, chocolate, superfruits, like acai, and omega-3 fatty acids are 3 of the 4 trends to take the market by storm. And they said that dark chocolate's reputation as an antioxidant is gaining ground and has been a major force in the unfolding antioxidant research. And even the medical community has been clamoring for a product like this. That same Dr. Hollenberg that I talked to you about earlier was on the news a few years ago. And he was kind of bemoaning the fact that he couldn't find a commercially available high antioxidant chocolate. He says, I'm hoping people actually make a flavonoid-rich cocoa that'll be available for sale and that people can incorporate it into their diets. He mistakenly said it hasn't happened yet. I hope it will. It had happened. It was called Shasai. That's exactly what Shasai is. Now, the third thing that I looked at was the market. Is this a rapidly expanding market? Is it huge? You know, if you want to have a good business opportunity, you know, I talked about the product. Well, the product is unique and it's consumable. You know, it goes away. People need to reorder it. The market is huge and it's rapidly expanding. And the reason it's rapidly expanding is because of the baby boom. I'm a baby boomer. And pretty much the baby boomers are interested right now. Their focus is, I want to stay young. I want to feel good. I want to perform well. And that's why the wellness industry is growing so quickly. I don't know if you know this, but a baby boomer turns 65 every 20 seconds. And that's going to happen for the next 20 years. So that's why the wellness industry is going to be the next $1 trillion industry. Chocolate's already a $1 trillion industry. The wellness industry is becoming a $1 trillion industry, and they come together, and it's like an explosion. Now, the baby boom already controls $750 billion of the United States economy, and worldwide, that figure is just astronomical. And besides the baby boom, you know, Gen X, Gen Y, everyone can consume a product like this. Everyone's interested in their health. So the market is enormous. The timing of this opportunity couldn't be better. Now, you know, MXI has doubled in size during the recession. And we've hit a critical mass, and we're experiencing tremendous growth. I told you half of our sales were done just last year. So, you know, we're really growing fast, and our sales right now are at a point where, according to the Direct Selling Association, typically a network marketing company will go into what's called momentum. It's like a vertical growth phase. And if you can get yourself in front of that momentum, that wave that's going to hit, you can really, really benefit. So the timing couldn't be better. We're expanding throughout the globe, and it seems like a new country comes online almost every month. And we have a worldwide compensation plan. So that means that no matter what country somebody comes into your business in, it pays you as if they live next door to you. Now, sometimes people kind of miss that, and they go, wait a minute, I live in the United States, or, you know, I just live in a small town. How will I have a worldwide business? Well, it has to do with that fifth thing that I was looking for, and that's leverage. And with leverage, you benefit from the efforts and the activities of other people, besides your own efforts, while those other people are also benefiting from their efforts. And J. Paul Getty put it this way. He said, I would rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. The way leverage works is this, and it's how it works in network marketing. If you talk to a couple of people about this, they're going to talk to a couple of people who talk to a couple of people who talk to a couple of people. And a year from today, you'll be working with people in your business, leaders that will emerge that you haven't met yet. I started with 10 people. And 4 years later, I have tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of people in my business. And that even amazes me. Now, why is Shesai the right business for you, and how can you get started? Well, to understand why it's the right business, you have to understand that it addresses a problem. And this is according to the Social Security Administration of the United States. This is a picture of the average 65-year-old in America. And at 65, the average 65-year-old falls into two major groups. 36% of them are dead. 54% of them are dead broke. That's 90% of people at age 65. Only 1% are wealthy. So, what group do you want to be in? I know what group I want to be in. And the wealthy 1%, the vast majority of them were business owners, 74%. Well, how can you own a business at a low cost with a low overhead? I'll tell you how. Join MXI. You can join this company for a very low cost and your monthly overhead is extremely low. And I'm not the only person that's talking about network marketing as a wonderful business model. Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book called Why We Want You to Be Rich. And in that book, there's an entire chapter on network marketing. One of the quotes by Donald Trump is, network marketing has proven itself to be a viable and rewarding source of income. And Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, says the richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else just looks for work. He's talking about the principle of leverage there. They're so excited about network marketing that they actually released that same chapter from that book out into the magazine world. And the article was called Why We Recommend Network Marketing. Well, you can start your Shesai business, and there are different levels that you can enter at, and you can start it for as little as 1 box all the way up to 12 boxes. That's called an activation order, and that happens one time. Talk to the person who got you on this webinar, and they can explain more to you. And then the whole thing runs on what's called auto delivery. And this makes, the business simple. Now, sometimes people say, wait a minute, hold on. Does that mean they're going to charge my credit card without my permission and they're going to send me stuff I don't want? No, absolutely not. But this is what makes the business simple. If you're eating this chocolate and you're getting the health benefits and you're eating it like you should, after 4 weeks that box will be gone and the truck will be showing up just on time to drop off your next box. And it's as simple as that. 1 box every 4 weeks. That's what auto delivery is, and it's the key to your income as an MXI distributor. Now, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. However, there are people that can earn a lot of money in this business, and you can earn from $50 to $40,000 weekly in just one of our 7 bonuses. Now, you hear about this big money, and sometimes it glazes you over. But I'm a living, breathing, walking, talking example that this can happen. I've experienced it, and so have many, many, many members of my team whose lives it has blessed. But think about this. What would an extra $500 do for the average person? Or $2,000? How would that change their lives? And that's easily accomplished with MXI. Now, J. Willard Marriott was a billionaire. And I love this quote. He said, "I'm not any smarter or better than you are. I just saw an opportunity and I took action." Those are the 4 most important words in that sentence, the words that you're looking at in green there. People all over the world are looking for opportunity right now. And a lot of times they're so afraid that they'll choose the wrong opportunity that they never choose one. So don't let that be you. Action takers, they're responsible for that 80-20 rule where 20% of the people make 80% of the money because they took action. We all have dreams. Every single one of us has a dream. We all want our kids to go to good schools. We want to have nice lives. We want to be able to do nice things for other people, live in nice homes. And, the problem is that the reason that stays a dream for a lot of people is because the income level doesn't match the level of the dream. And so life forces them to make one of 2 choices. It's economics. Either you're going to have to shrink those dreams to meet the size of the income, and I think that's the car I drove in college, or you can grow your income to meet the size of the dream, and I recommend that. Do you realize that if you wanted to generate just $200 of passive income in your life, and you wanted to do that because you put money in the bank and you weren't going to touch it and you were going to collect interest, you'd have to have over $45,000 in the bank that you didn't touch. If you wanted to have $10,000 that you were receiving on a monthly basis, you'd have to have over $2 million in the bank. I don't know a lot of people that live that way, but I know scores and scores and scores of people that I would term residual millionaires because they do receive that kind of income by participating in MXI. And I'm one of them. And that's been a blessing in my life. Besides the monetary rewards, this is a very generous company, and they have a car program. And just for building a business, you can be rewarded a beautiful black Mercedes. And this is just a picture of a few of the people who were rewarded a Mercedes just last year. The company also provides paid vacations. Build a business, and they'll take you on a wonderful cruise to exotic locations, the Caribbean, the Mediterranean, and other locations throughout the world. Shisai is the opportunity to live a wonderful life, to live an optimal life. You can really do that with this opportunity. But you do need to remember this. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. And if that's, if your life is great and you want it to look the same in 5 years from now, then, you're doing the things that you need to do to have that life 5 years from now. If you want it to look different, you need to make some changes. So this is where I say, board the X train. I know, it's corny, but it works. What I'd like you to do is, if you're hearing this for the first time, get in touch with the person who sent you to this webinar and do a couple of things for me. First, thank them for getting this information in front of you. This is information that can change your life. And secondly, allow them to assist you in the application process. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes to do that, and you can be up and running in the chocolate business. Well, thank you so much for your kind attention, and welcome to the wonderful world of Shisai.